Yabba dabba doo. Hello. Hello, everybody. All right. Not like anybody's watching this. But I've had a mic failure. My favorite mic is no longer working after a Windows update. So I hope it says that the sound's coming through this mic. I feel like I have to talk a little louder, but here we are. It's been about 3 months, would be my guess, since the last video. I don't remember if I said it in the last video, but I might have said it in the video before that. I've been expecting the next level of support to be at 115K for Bitcoin. So we have Bitcoin on the month, and we are currently at 115K, $490. So we are there. So this is what we look like on the month. Obviously, we did not cross here. We are still going up. It is now September 12th, and we are at 115 after making it to like, we'll see in a minute. What is that? Like 124K. But we went down. We're back at 115. Um, RSI does not really worry me right now at the month. At the month, the MACD is still showing strength going up, and I'll talk about something with the MACD when we get to a lower time scale. But for right now, nothing is worrying, nothing's concerning, and what I mean by concerning is nothing looks like it's going to go down, like heavy from where we are right now in the immediate future. So I think hold on. Let's take a look at the week. Let's skip the week. Let's go to the 4 day. I like the 4 day a little bit more lately. So our 4 day, we are looking fairly good. We have lost some on the MACD, and you can see that down here on the 4 day. But this could be turning around on the MACD. Now the RSI is coming up is coming up very close to what I would consider to be a buy. Now, I don't think this is set right, so let's just set this real quick to what I like. If I can do that, upper band, we want 70, and the lower band, we want 30. I do. I don't know what you want, but that's what I'm going to go with for this right now. So as we can see, our signal hasn't quite hit that yet, but it's getting close. We're developing a one candle on the 4 day, which is something that I like. We have got 1.5 days or 1 day and 8 hours left on the 4 day until we start our number 2 candle. And that'll be my big confirmation that we're ready to go another leg up. So on the 4 day, we have not touched the 50 EMA yet. So I think I say this every video, right? I would have liked for it to come down and show a little more support on the 50, but we came under the 20 and we're now back above the 20. So, you don't get the ideal, I guess. And we'll jump to the 1 day. So here we are at the 1 day. Now, just as like so on the 1 day, we got to a 10 candle here, right? And for me, that means that we should really start considering selling. once we get to like a 9 or a 10 candle, 11, 12, anything like that. And and what ended up happening, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I believe that some of the Bitcoin whales dropped like $3 billion worth of Bitcoin, like in the middle of August, and that sent us down here. I believe this was because the whales wanted to short Bitcoin, because I think that we had quite a bit of puts in here, meaning that people were betting that they weren't investing, they weren't buying Bitcoin to hold on to it. They were using leverage and assuming that, hey, we were going to go up to like 140 or something. I don't know what was in their minds, but I kind of knew that around 115 that was going to be our next kind of level of resistance. We made it all the way to 124K before we started coming down. Something would have brought us back down it, whether it was a whale selling or bad news, something would have brought us down. But we came down and we are now, and once again, I am looking at this 20 EMA about to cross the 50, and that is what I want to see. So I don't suspect that this will go much lower, if it does go any lower at all. I don't think it's going to go down to 113K. I think that we are at the beginning of having our support above 115 before our next leg going up. And this is almost an identical situation to back here. So the last time that I streamed, I placed this paper trade here to kind of show what I mean and to prepare me to buy some altcoins for buying and selling. And if you had bought when I said that I thought we were going up, you'd be looking at 37% profit. You'd be in 37% profit right now if you had held onto the Bitcoin. 37% profit on the Bitcoin. And then I believe I looked at XLM, which I'm out of, and boom, I had drawn this line here. I said that if it goes above this line, I was going to consider buying. I held, came all the way up here. We hit this 12 red, and that's when I panicked. The 13 red candle right here, I was panicking. So I'm fairly sure that I sold kind of low on this 12 candle, right? But it paid off in the long run. And if I buy back in right now, 12 candle, a little low. This is a guess. 12%, which is not bad. I'm not going to complain. Actually, I'm not going to complain at all. Quite happy with that. So that is what we are looking at. Um, are we close to the end of the cycle? That's really my big question now is are we going to see a Bitcoin cycle the way that we have in the past? And what the reason why I'm not so sure that we will see another cycle is because the institutional money, the banks, the ETFs, those are coming in. And while I don't suspect that it's going to send us to the moon or $1 million or anything like that in the next year, I am very confident that we will probably see at least, and I've been saying this for years now, we will at least see 180K, 185K before the end of the year. It has to happen. Um, it's September now, October, November, so maybe in November we hit 115 or we hit 185K. And then at the end of the year, if this cycle does continue and we have broken the previous cycles and we're now in a new type of cycle, then I could see 225, 225K at the end of the year, December. And I'm not making any predictions after that, right? And the reason, quite frankly, is because in the beginning, all the first cycles, starting in like 2013, 2012, 2017, these were all, let's call them hobbyist buys. These were all people that believed in Bitcoin. These were individuals. A lot of them, a lot of the original guys that, a lot of the whales, they were miners in the beginning. Um, so you had this accumulation without institutional interest. There was no bank was interested in Bitcoin in 2017, right? It just didn't happen. Nobody was saying, "Oh, we're going to be watching this closely." Everybody was saying, "This is crazy and Bitcoin's not real." If it's not a bar of gold and you can set it on your desk, then it doesn't have any value type trip, right? Basic boomer logic that digital assets are not ever going to work out. Um, so that's my prediction. So now would be a good time to get in. Now might be your last chance to get in before we hit the top of this cycle. So I just want to throw that out there. I don't want to scare anybody into buying Bitcoin or anything like that. Don't mortgage your house. Don't sell your car. Your life savings should be in the S&P 500 or some other index that you think is good. That's where your life savings should be. But in my case, it's all in Bitcoin. So, well, not all. Um, but yeah, yeah. So that's it. So right now, I don't think that I would do a buy like that right now. It's not quite the same situation, but we're getting really close. And we could come down. We could come down, but I don't think we're going to come down that much. I really don't think we're going to see below 113K. I think we're going to see a little bit, maybe the rest of September, we see it go up a little bit, but I would be surprised if we beat 124K by the end of September. But October and November, that could be it. That could be it right there. So let's take a quick look at the month again, because if we're using the sequential that I have, we're at a 5 green candle, and I believe that we will definitely make it to a 9 on this run from this one candle on up. I think we're going to, on the month, I think we're definitely going to make it to a 9. We will probably go to a 12 or 15 candles. There might be a red candle mixed in here, but that gives us a small idea that for the next 4.5 months, we're going to be going up, right? So if we're measuring by the month, the next 4.5 months, I think we're going to be going up. That's going to put us into next year, is the thing. Which is why I'm not making any predictions after the year, right? Because the candles are telling me one thing, the cycle is telling me that this should probably putter out December, but the candles are telling me that we could definitely go another 5 months, maybe 7 months, right? So that would be a 12 candle or a 13 candle on the month. So keep that in mind. Uh, a lot of altcoins are looking really good. Ethereum is looking super strong to me right now, and I am predicting that Ethereum could easily go to 12. K. I've heard other numbers like 16 and 22K. I'm not there, but I do think that 12 is very easy, and that's a almost 200% profit. Solana, I think Solana could go. I want to say 1,000, but I'm thinking 800 is what Solana could do. Um, and H bar, I'm really hoping for $1 out of H bar. I think Hedera has a real good chance of being one of the big winners in the altcoins when the final push, I believe. Oh, I can't remember the guy's name now, but the guy who came up with the banana zone terminology, right? I think I think Solana is going to really benefit from that. And H bar. I think both of those are going to benefit greatly from that. So be careful. For God's sakes, now is the time to start using stop limits. Okay. Maybe not today or next week, but now is the time to start implementing stop limits. You would rather be stopped out because what's going to happen is every time, and it doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin or if it's stock, it just doesn't matter. There's a mentality that people can't get rid of, right? So if you buy right now and it goes to 185, 100, 220, and it starts to go down, you're going to be like, oh, well, gee, I mean, it might go to a million or it might, I don't know what the logic is. You need to sell. You need to get out. Unless it's Bitcoin, I will completely understand if you hold on to Bitcoin. I've said this for years. I don't sell Bitcoin. It's not something that I do. So when Bitcoin goes to the top, I won't be selling it, but I will be dumping every single altcoin that I've been holding on to for the last 4 years. So keep that in mind. Don't fall in love with these cryptocurrencies and don't become unrealistic about how high the price can go. And that's it. I think I've talked enough. Is there anything that I really wanted to say? No, no, not really. Let's uh, let's just do one real quick thing, and we'll do a trend-based fib extension, and see if I can do this right, which apparently I can't. Um, I've lost my mind. I can't remember how this tool works. That's what happens when you live in a state where marijuana is legal. Trend-based fib extension. Oh, I'm going backwards? What? I really want to see this. I know. You guys are like, "Oh, is this guy retarded?" Yes. Yes, I am. There is no doubt. Oh, up, down. There we go. Our one right here is at 156, and our 185 is right at the very top of that. So that is very doable under the scenario we of our final push in the cycle. That is very doable. 185K right here, this 1.618. One is very easy. So at 156K, I will probably become a little more aggressive with my stop limits, especially if it looks like we're really starting to take off. And then once we get past, if we get past this 186, then I'm really going to be tight with the stop limits, and I will probably get stopped out maybe once or twice. Easy. Um, all right, that's it. I'm done. I try to make these quick. When are you going to see me again? You are probably not going to see me again until 160K. Let's just say 155 to 160K. I might come in, and basically what I'm going to tell you is be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. Be careful buying in. Be careful selling. But your goal is, well, let me not say your goal. My goal is to bounce out of all the altcoins as soon as we get to the top. Wait a while, wait a long time, buy back into Bitcoin at the dip. And I've said this before, there is no, I don't think we're ever going to see 106 or 64K or 65K Bitcoin again. I think that if we drop, we're probably going to drop to about 100K, right? And that's a lot. That is actually a lot. So it's quite possible that we drop back down to 125K, but somewhere around there. You get the idea? All right. Good luck. Um, and it's Friday, so have a great weekend.